Today we have in our studio with us Gupta. He is a pioneer of yoga in the New England area. He is based in New Hampshire. By profession, he is a pharmacist and founder of Yoga Caps. He has played a very important role in teaching, training, and promoting yoga in this area. We are very happy to have him today in our studio. Jay, welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Thank you
Namaste.
very much for coming. Namaste. Yes. So we are going to start first with numbers. We have seen that in the United States, the last few decades, and every day it is increasing phenomenally. The concept of yoga. You go every corner, small or big town, and you see a yoga studio, just like McDonald's actually. So tell us about what is your take that how do you have any numbers about this?
Well, the numbers are everywhere, but what I understand is we have more than 60,000 yoga teachers right now.
60,000 in all over the US.
All over America. But there must be more because there are a lot of people who are not registered or certified, but they're teaching yoga. Population-wise, again, the numbers are everywhere. The latest number I could find was about 30 million people in America right now who do yoga. That's equal to almost 10% of the population. And it's a business. It's a big business now.
Sure.
It's almost $30 billion business in America right now.
And this is all aspects of yoga, which will include the yoga exercises, meditation, everything which comes to
included,
that.
yes.
So $30 billion is a lot of money.
It is.
Do you have any also historical data that how it has grown over the last 5-10 years? Like what was the number 10 years ago?
Yeah, I'm not sure about those numbers. Only thing I know is 9 years back when we started Yoga Caps, at that time it was a very new thing. It was something people will listen about, and they might even run away from us. They didn't want to do it. And even now what is more popular is yoga as an exercise. But as we know, there are so many different pieces of yoga which are not available.
So we'll come back to the whole types of yoga and yoga as exercise and meditation a little bit later. But the first thing I want to ask you is how you got interested in yoga.
When I was a little kid, I was very sick. I had asthma. I was very short in height. People used to call me Gupta, just teasing me, we call it dwarf. So I was 15 years old. My parents sent me to a yoga ashram. In 3 months.
In which part of India was
In
it?
Delhi.
In Delhi.
In Delhi, Vishwayatan.
And you were born and grew up in Delhi? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was Vishwayatan Yoga Ashram with Swami Dhinendra Brahmachari. And in 3 months, I got a brand new body. My asthma was gone. I gained a foot in height. So that was like complete metamorphosis for me. 16 years old, my brother opened a pharmacy, and 17 years old, I was in pharmacy school. So
in Delhi?
In Delhi, yes. So since then, I've been just integrating, studying them together, integrating the pharmacy, the medicine, and the yoga together.
And what brought you to US? And when did you come to US?
Well, I came in year 2000. I had an Ayurvedic products business back home, and I came to market here. I was marketing in India and Russia. So America was one of the markets I wanted to target. But because of visa situation, I was just going back and forth. So one of my friends suggested there's a good demand for pharmacists. So I applied for a job. I got a job. I came on H-1 visa.
And that was in 2000?
2001. Actually, I came right after September 11, 2001.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Dhirendra Brahmachari. Now, he was a very controversial person in India at that time. And during that yoga institute started by him, did you have a chance to interact with him, or he was, no?
He was a big guy.
You never met him, never
I think
saw him?
most of the famous people get into controversies anyway.
Sure.
So most of the yogis, if you see, who are famous, renowned, they have some controversies around them. But I studied with his student, Bal Mukundaji, and he was just phenomenal. The way, of course, I didn't like him at that time because it was a lot of work.
Sure.
But
so now, let's come back. You come here in 2000, early 2001. And then when you start Yoga Caps?
So actually, I started teaching yoga right away. I was in Rhode Island in Providence. So Dr. Amrit Patel and me, we started teaching yoga for India Museum and Heritage Society as a non-profit in Providence. Then I started teaching for Vrindavan Preservation Society. They had a Vaishnav Academy. And there I met, I was doing one of the yoga retreats, a yoga camp for all day. That's when I met my wonderful wife, Terry.
Yeah, okay.
So we got married in 2005.
And which year was that? When
2005.
2000. So yoga has been very good to you.
Oh, beautiful, just
Okay.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And just finding a partner like her
Mm-hmm.
who is just deeply rooted in yoga,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually. And I'm more of a science person. I'm not that kind of spiritual person, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
amazing journey.
Mm-hmm.
And she being a social worker, she suggested if you really want to do seriously about anything about yoga, let's incorporate a nonprofit. And for me, yoga is a medicine. So we incorporated yoga caps, which is yoga and capsules.
Mm-hmm.
So concept was to bring yoga in such an easy and simple form to people, which is safe and effective and work like a medicine.
So now how the yoga caps has grown and how the yoga has grown in that part of your world in New Hampshire or around it, surrounded areas.
So as I mentioned in the beginning, people used to run away from me. You know, we will go to health fairs and talk about yoga. And neti pot was one technique, jalnati,
Mhm.
which I thought was extremely useful because in New England people have allergies a lot of allergies. So neti pot, in my understanding, was so much better than any of the medicines, even today we have. So when we will talk about neti pot, people will literally run away from us thinking about putting water in the nose
Mhm.
was so impractical.
Mhm.
And now almost all my patients in my pharmacy have a neti pot, and they do it religiously and get all the benefits of it.
So how, as a pharmacist, how has been your experience with combining this yoga and the pharmacy and dealing with all these type of patients? Do you get a chance to talk to the people you work with at the pharmacy about yoga and all, or no?
Say 5 years back, there were two different parts of my life. So I could say I had a split personality.
Okay.
So in the pharmacy, I'm very enthusiastic, talking about medicine, making some difference in people's life, which I still love doing. When I'm teaching yoga, I'm just teaching yoga, nothing else. But within last 5 years, yoga has grown so much. And as you know, integrative care is
Sure.
a new phenomenon.
Sure.
Somehow in New England, I think we are very behind when it comes to integrative healthcare. But in other parts of the country, wherever we have an integrative clinic, yoga is in the forefront. So we are using that. So I was really surprised. National Mental Health Center 3 years back gave me an award called Consumer Advocacy Award.
Mhm.
So that's a beautiful story also behind that. So when we integrated that, then the pharmacist community gave me Excellence in Innovation Award. So right now I feel healthcare industry is recognizing the power of integrative medicine, and they recognize my efforts of being innovative within the healthcare system, because we are bringing yoga into the hospitals, and we are offering to those people who will not go to regular yoga studios, who have serious health conditions, and trying to make it safe for them.
So now, as the popularity of yoga has, become very very popular and has increased, but also some opposition is also growing that it's not a real medicine; it can be a health risk, and that's why the mainstream healthcare profession is also somehow send some mixed message too, because they also do believe in the power of integrative medicine and alternative medicine, but at the same time they do not treat it like the way a medical system should be treated. For example, if you go to India and somebody is going to an Ayurvedic doctor, they are okay, sure, yeah, the Ayurveda is also but that type of thing doesn't exist here.
Right.
And so, what do you think are the flaws into this U.S. health system? Or is it changing? Or how do you look at the future in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think first of all, it's a wonderful, wonderful question, very close to my heart. When you look at integrative medicine, in India it is very popular. When a medical doctor cannot do something for a particular condition, they will say, okay, try whatever, yoga, naturopathy, Ayurveda, acupuncture, homeopathy. So we try all of that.
Sure.
In America, this being a new phenomena, I think we are going to take it to a next level. So I agree with those doctors, those healthcare professionals who think yoga might be unsafe, because yoga as a medicine is a powerful medicine. It does have its contraindications, it has side effects, it has its own issues. So unless we can make it very safe for people and prove it with clinical research, we are taking a risk. So I think it's going to grow beautifully.
So
And it's already happening.
is there any the pressure group or interest group for the yoga industry in the United States who is trying to promote yoga as a medicine or yoga as a
Right now, no. We have a yoga therapist group,
Mhm.
international yoga therapist group. So they are promoting as a yoga therapy, but mostly from the physical therapist point of view. Because in America, we are looking at yoga as mostly asanas,
Mhm.
as a physical practice. But as a medicine, I don't think there are too many people who are looking at it like this. Some
So
doctors, I think, have done, but research is growing. So I know that like MD Anderson Institute
Mhm.
is the largest cancer institute in the world. So they are doing a lot of studies with yoga and
so
cancer.
is there any official formal clinical study on impact of yoga on people's life?
There are tons of studies now. I
The
think,
anything any specific study comes to your mind?
well, the largest study which I'm tracking right now is at MD Anderson Institute, which I really love whenever I hear about that, and if, the new outcomes come out. So I think it's going to be released sometime this year.
Mhm.
So it's a 5 years clinical trial, stage 3, where they have 3 groups. One group is not doing any exercise, so they're waitlisted group. The second group is doing aerobic exercise, and third group is doing yoga.
Mhm.
All these people who are enrolled into the study, they are women with breast cancer undergoing radiation treatment.
Mhm.
So the initial outcomes are the people who are not doing exercise, their outcomes are not very good,
Mhm.
even with radiation treatment.
So when the initial report came, when was it released?
About 4 years, 4.5 years back.
Okay.
So first grant was their $800,000 grant.
Mhm.
Now they have a $5 million grant. So this is the second study they're doing. So exercise, not very good outcomes. People who were active doing exercise, aerobic exercises, their outcomes were better with a similar, modern treatment.
Sure.
But people who are doing yoga, their outcomes are tremendously better. Now, how much really are better, that data is yet to be seen.
Okay.
But what they're doing is tracking the cortisol level in saliva.
Mhm.
So cortisol level is a marker for stress.
Mhm.
By people doing yoga, the cortisol level is very, very low.
So can you explain what is that cortisol level?
Cortisol is a hormone
Mhm.
which is a marker for stress.
Mhm.
So if we have a stressful event right now, suddenly your stress level and my stress level, cortisol level will go up.
Mhm.
And that can be detected in saliva.
Mhm.
Okay. Usually in healthy human beings, it can take up to 18 minutes to come down back to the normal level.
Mhm.
And there are studies which I have seen by using yoga techniques, it can come down within a minute. And modern people, when they live in a stressful situation day in and day out, for them it may not even come down ever because they're stressed all the time. So the outcomes for the cancer treatment, same treatment, are much better when people are doing yoga as compared to exercise or doing nothing.
So now looking back, say if the result, the study comes out and proves this theory, what you were saying, then maybe if the yoga is not used as a medicine, but it has a very wider, very interesting impact on the overall cure.
Absolutely.
And then itself. So looking at this, whatever the data you have, how do you look at next 5 or 10 years?
Well, I think
keep in your mind the $30 billion number, how that is going to go.
Well, I'm not sure about $30 billion. Where does the money go? I think it's all going into the special outfits and clothing,
Sure,
probably.
Sure.
It's not really going into the training programs as much or uplifting the standards of education of yoga. I feel more integration within the healthcare system as a pharmacist. That's what I see. Of course, you see it in TV ads. Every TV ad is using people doing yoga and meditation. But that is where I feel will be the biggest growth. And as we talk about healthcare system being broken, and we are trying to fix it, but we don't really know what to do, and we are doing a lot of things to fix it, I feel the integration of holistic practices into the mainstream is going to be the game changer.
Now, now let's talk a little bit in more detail about yoga. And as I said earlier when we were talking about is that you walk into any major corner street in a small town or big town or medium-sized town in the United States, you do see a sign of yoga studio or different type of yogas. So now when you look at that and it of course tells that phenomenal growth taking place, but with the growth also comes some irregularities in the system, and some people take advantage of that marketplace. Um, how do you find a good yoga institute? Is all everybody who is offering is doing a good job, or you, as a person who is taking a very active role, you find some complaints about these various institutes or studios?
So first of all, I have very, very high respect for all the yoga teachers out there who have made it a profession. They're bringing yoga to the community. They may not know everything, but actually nobody does, including me and you probably. But
Sure.
Whatever they know, they are sharing it with a lot of enthusiasm. Some people I have met, and I know them very, very well, they have given up some high-paying jobs, corporate careers, to dedicate to yoga. When it comes to styles of yoga, everybody has something available for them, right? We talk about people who are very emotional, they can do bhakti yoga. People who are very intellectual, they can do jnana yoga, right? People who are very active, they just want to keep doing, they can't sit still, they can do karma yoga. So when you look at original traditional yoga, we have prescription for everybody. Fast forward modern world, when you look at the brand names of yoga, there are so many different brands, so it's hard to find out which one is good for who. If you're a healthy, young person, I would say start doing yoga right away. Do whatever style, and I recommend personally, don't stick with one teacher or one school, one style. Try 4 or 5 different styles, and you will know what you like the most.
Sure. Now, this leads to another question: is that when you look at yoga in the West, mostly it is associated with exercise, and people think that and you see the signs, the people you are driving by and seeing the studio, people are doing the exercises and all, and different asanas and poses and like that. So in the Western, the yoga has been somehow branded more like a physical exercise and twisting bodies in different positions and all this stuff. How you look at yoga, and how you compare, what is the relationship between yoga and meditation?
So it depends on what school I go to, and I try to go to almost every school, because Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Kundalini
So
Yoga.
let us for a minute forget about all these schools.
Okay.
If you just go to the basic,
Okay.
where everything starts.
Okay.
What is meditation? What is yoga? Is meditation is part of yoga, or is the asanas, or is yoga is part of what is? Let's go back to the basic thing.
Okay.
And when all these schools didn't exist, there was one